they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, Mayegun don't come. So my people make you laugh. Oh yo yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh yo yo, and people make you shout. Oh yo yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh yo yo, Mayegun the command of the masses. Oh yo yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh yo yo, Mayegun diary politico. Oh yo yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh yo yo, this man not dey off in mind. Oh yo yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh yo yo. Aha! Now you muna don hear all these bad politicians then work. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary.
Hello there.
Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
I changed location tonight, which means I've kind of moved I've moved the studio to another part of the house. And this is the first time I'm trying that out. In case if we have any issue, please kindly alert me, especially the audio. If you have kind of any problem with the audio, kindly alert me in the comment section. Save for that. Let's get it on. Share this broadcast.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé.
Thank you so much. Share this broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends and tell them Mayegun today.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádùn yẹ. Mayegun máa bí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Presido bá rúfin o. Mayegun máa bí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gómìnà kówó jẹ. Mayegun máa bí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Somebody said I should turn on the volume of this broadcast. Please turn on the volume of your own device.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Òkúra olóṣèlú. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Thank you for joining me.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé.
So, good evening to you once again. Good morning to you and good afternoon to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live. Now, if you have taken your time to read the caption of this broadcast, it's like an alert that just came in. An inevitable one, of course, maybe not kind of alarming one to many. There will be strike from Monday because of the fuel subsidy removal. Tinubu's government, represented by Dele Alake, met with supposed labor leaders, the NLC, to kind of find a way around this on how they will explain to people to accept it, that, there's no provision for it. However, they have no plan for whatever this is going to bring other than to give them time as a new government to figure out how to rejig the economy. So how do you talk about that to the workers whose cost of living overnight just rose by over 500%, while their earnings remain same? And the same, in the same stress, the Central Bank of Nigeria just said that even though they have denied it, but it's already out there, the official exchange rate in Nigeria has been moved up. Naira to dollar has been moved up from the hidden 400 and something exchange rate to over 600 naira to a dollar now. And in their propaganda machine, the milling machine, what they have said is that they are doing that in order to kill the black market rates. Now, in the space of this hyperinflation facing everyone in Nigeria, the only message that Tinubu, including the shameless one of Bokwari, the bloody one, right, was that you just have to learn how to live with it. We'll get to that part. So that was last night. It didn't work out. However, I think they thought they would continue the conversation today, making the same offer. But here is something. As they are pretending to be talking to the NLC, they are already rolling out their propaganda in order to blame anyone who tried to blame Tinubu for the repercussion of this fuel subsidy removal without any plan. So NLC sent the signals to the workers today that, listen, from Monday, if all things being equal, if no agreement, then we're going to have a shutdown from Monday. That's just the workers. Now, they will do everything to ensure that that will not be successful. Bokwari did it to the point that if NLC says we are having a strike tomorrow, nobody seems to be kind of care. Oh, we are going to protest tomorrow. They don't really move anything anymore. No thanks to APC. However, there are other activities too. Today, Peter Obi and his own lawyers at the tribunal, they put up a real show today. And at the end of it all the evidence presented against Tinubu today were admitted as evidence, as exhibits. Now, I'm going to tell you a few things around that too when we get to that stage. And the last stage or the last part of this chart tonight will be you having to probably tell us how you are indeed planning to cope with the new reality, especially if you are in Nigeria. So we will start with the impending industrial strike. Like I said last night, Dele Alake, speaking on behalf of representing Tinubu's government, 2 days ago, there was an announcement that he has been made the spokesperson for Tinubu, and he came out yesterday to deny it. No, he hasn't made any appointment. Okay. So, but that same yesterday, under no kind of capacity in this regard, official capacity, other than saying he represented the government and speaks for the government, had this to say after meeting the labor. It's brief.
NLC, MDs here, Mr. Kiyari, we cannot go into any details now because talks are still ongoing. We cannot finish everything at one sitting. So we have adjourned now. We are continuing the talks at a later date, very, very shortly. But the point is that talks are ongoing, and it's always better for all sides to keep talking with a view to arriving at a very amicable resolution that will be in the longer term interest of all Nigerians. That is as much as you can say. Thank you very much.
So NNPC chairman or so was there. Central Bank Governor Emefiole was there. Anyway, you heard him. At a later date means no date. So because I think NLC knows how dubious APC Egbekegbe is, and they are not taking their chances. Baptismal of fire starting from Monday. Because the same, now there is something I want to say, right? One terrible disadvantage of governments in power, transiting power to the same, to another government that is of the same political party. What Buhari did to Nigeria in 8 years, right now, he shouldn't be sleeping in his house. Not just him. More than 90% of those who worked in the name of APC Egbekegbe in the last 8 years, the damages they did, the corruption, the looting, the depletion of the resources. Baba, if they dash anybody presidency of Nigeria for person who mean well, it will pass it and say, I'm fine. Find another person. In my own opinion, economy is in total shambles. Security, dead. You see this particular one that has to do with oil subsidy and the fraud that lasted this long. They were supposed to be packing people right now. You know when they say, when you watch this American political movies, right? And a scandal will break out. And then they will begin to pick everybody, including secretary, including, you know what I mean? Everyone, they will begin to pick. And some will begin to kind of try to hide evidence in anything that connects them. You see, once you grab Buhari, it's going to be like when you take a tree and the roots with millions of branches. Criminals. There is no money to run Tinubu's government other than to further their austere, or what do you call it, austerity, which they didn't make official to you anyway. Recession that Nigeria has been for the past 5 years, going down the drain, slippery slope. So if it wasn't for APC Egbekegbe to APC Egbekegbe, by now a lot of people would be on the run. Look at that guy that stole 22 billion in the name of Nigeria Air. By the time you go into the aviation ministry and you see the wreck they have actually done there, he won't be returning to the palace he built for himself. He won't be returning there. He will be returning to jail. But Tinubu would have to pretend. Remember Tinubu himself, with over 800 to nearly 1 trillion naira spent to buy the old charade that has become kind of fish bone stuck in his throat. Spending up to a trillion naira buying an election. Where do you think he's going to get that from? How do you think such people have any plan of rejigging any economy? I mean, to start with. Anyway, Tinubu knows this. Central bank is empty. Like, empty. Yeah? And the source of revenue to even start kind of idea of generating new wealth, blocking loopholes, which normally would have automatically kicked into action the moment a new government comes in. But right now, it is pretentiously a status quo They will drag you on and drag you on until they wear you out. And then you take it as it's currently going to be the case. Sure you get? Because if not, Nigeria is spending 4 trillion naira on subsidy. And they said they were doing transition. So what exactly did Bokwari handed over to Tinubu? That he won't be paying May's salary. That they won't be able to afford the subsidy anymore, and there is no whatever plan or what that on how to cover the effect of that removal. So what exactly did he hand over to Tinubu when they said they were doing transition? So it was purely just media frenzy, media clouds. Because if Bokwari handed the document that Bokwari handed over to Tinubu, if it's in that document, he said subsidy is gone. So what came after that? Anything? Like what will happen after it's gone? Nothing. So then Tinubu, ordinarily who had planned for you, what was his own plan for the past 3 months they are doing the handover? No plan. Abi? That's why I said that, only if, well, unfortunately it's not. Yeah? So currently, they have told the civil servants that there is going to be a little bit delay in your May salary. This is June, and for federal government too. So they work around it. So the next thing that's going to happen, in order for them to kind of mop up some money, apart from printing money. So the only thing I believe Bokwari gave Tinubu before he left was that, listen, Alaye, if you need money, print money. Oh. Me, I have broken the law many times. Nobody asked me. But just to make it easier for you, the law says if we generate 100 billion, the central bank, I can go to central bank and borrow 5% of that 100 billion. And that is what is called ways and means. That means the central bank will give them that money to cover any deficits. And then once they make money, they will pay it back 5%. Oh. Not their entire budget. Oh. I'm talking about 5% of their revenue. Now, under Bokwari, Nigeria revenue dwindled so badly that the money Nigeria was making from revenue, from oil, from tax, and all these places, Nigeria is using 98% of that money to service the debt, money borrowed by Bokwari. Do you know that in 8 years, Bokwari's government spent 11.8 trillion naira in refurbishing and reviving Nigeria refineries? And up to this moment, not a single one is working. 11.8 trillion naira. That's how much Bokwari spent. Yeah? All this money are not money made from Nigeria. They are borrowed money. Money that you will pay interest back on. Do you understand? So ordinarily, what he did for him was that, listen, if you need money, just go and print it. We'll tell the National Assembly to change the law and increase it to over 15%. So that will be easier for you to start with. Nigeria revenue dwindled because unemployment skyrocketed. No be people where they work, they pay tax. The government has no job. Government is a tax collector. All government does is to take and take and take. And to encourage you to keep giving, that's when they use your tax to build you roads, provide you healthcare, provide you security, and spend money on infrastructure. That is to encourage you, to inspire you to pay more. Government have no real business of making any money anywhere. But if you have no job, would you pay tax? If your business is not doing well, will you be able to make up tax payments? Or if your business pack up, will government make money? So in 8 years, over 4 million businesses shut down in Nigeria. 4 million businesses. And boom, not like a miracle. I mean, sorry, a magic or anything. No. Unemployment skyrocketed. And today, over 70% of Nigerians are unemployed. Over 70%. What about poverty? When people have no job of kind of keeping up or paying up for what they use or need daily, what do you think will happen? Poverty has skyrocketed too. And like that, more than 80% of Nigerians right now are living in multi-dimensional poverty. All of this number skyrocketed in 8 years of these criminals. So how do you start building that back? Sack some people, the usual way of APC, I mean Tinubu's way. Save money from where? Squeeze you of what? Borrow more money. Then with the level of greed that prompted this, and those who stole all this money in 8 years, 77 trillion naira debt from 13 trillion. Do you know how much that is? 100 years of debt repayment. And Bokwari left 16 trillion naira uncompleted projects. Do you know that? Second Niger Bridge, uncompleted. Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, uncompleted. Kaduna-Abuja Expressway, uncompleted. Kaduna-Kano, Abuja Expressway, uncompleted. The rail line, uncompleted. 460 million US dollars a CCTV project in Abuja, not seen at all. Right? 16 trillion naira uncompleted project in Nigeria. That's what Bokwari left. So who's going to fund that? And with what money? Now, they are telling you that they are going to need to, the reason why they are removing subsidy is because they want to save the money and use the money for something else. That's propaganda. There is actually no money anymore. No money. Yeah. No budget, no money for it. The last minute, Bokwari even attempted to take 800 million US dollars just to share that to people they believe are poor people. They will give you for 5,000 naira. And then you can go on and buy the fuel for 800 naira or more. So the question I was asking myself was that, listen, what exactly is in that document handed over to, you know what I mean, to Tinubu? So this is a big thing, right? Now, in case if you have no idea what this, or maybe you do, but you are underplaying it, don't rush yourself. I will explain. Everything from the moment that fuel price changed, everything that you've known in this past week will change, including your rent. Yes, including your rent. Everything that, you know, this is like what we have in the UK that we call the living cost crisis. It's a crisis. If you have to choose between putting food on your table or paying for hospital bill, you have to choose in between the two. Should I pay for the hospital bill and stay hungry? Or should I just eat and die? Do you understand? When you have to choose between having to feed or to do something else, that is crisis. So in the UK, here in the UK, those who even have enough, the capacity to live within that crisis, the government put together a package that allow everyone who actually spend on utility like your gas, your electricity, to get a little bit of a rebate back from what they are taking from you. It's not much. But to some people who actually like, would, you know, you could make use of anything in this period. That's something. For the past, what do you call it? For the past 8 months or so, they have had to like give me back 60 pounds every month. Though they will first take the chunk, then they give me back 60 pounds. Somehow, I feel like, and this is not something I have to apply for. As long as I am actually paying for gas and electricity, I'll get that automatically. Then if you then have problem like your earning is not going to be able to pay for some certain things anymore because of this, the government did their calculation per household, and they therefore arrange a program that can allow you to go and apply and say, okay, listen, I need help. So what you have in Nigeria right now, that's going to affect everything you know, and with no plan, is a crisis. And this one is not limited to whether you are from the north or you are from the south, whether you are a Christian or a Muslim. It doesn't matter whether you are APC, Abobaku, or wherever you are. If you are in Nigeria, you will be forced to adjust to this. And it is not going to be played down. You won't play it down. I know a lot of people are already telling themselves that may the Tinubu period favor them. Favor and grace. No wahala. Now, here is Tinubu today. You know, security is issue. In southern Kaduna right now, there are some places where some communities that the terrorists, the Fulani terrorists, have imposed levies on, like tax. Do you understand what I mean? For them to have peace, they must pay some certain amount of money to the bandits, as they call them, the terrorists. If failure to do that, they will come back and slaughter them. It's a new agreement they just signed. Their lives and everything is completely theirs now. None of Nigeria's business. Right? But just like when Good luck Egbere Jolantan handed over to Boko Haram, do you remember the enthusiasm, the level of optimism and kind of courage and all of, no, could not be courage. That kind of optimism, optimism. You know, when people feel like, man, even if Boko Haram fail in anything, as a former soldier, security is a bagbe. Those terrorists better run and run away now. Buhari is not Jonathan, no. Back then, no. Now Borno, the Fulani, so the Boko Haram terrorists were based. So they will send suicide bombers outside Borno to go and bomb places and go and kill here and there. And then they will run back into the Sambisa in Borno. So when Boko Haram came, everyone thought, not everyone, the Buhari idiots was like, yes, that's the change I voted for. Within a week or so, Boko Haram appointed Moguno, a retired general too, as his own national security advisor. They said, yes, that's the general I voted for. That's the change I voted for. Baba, that's the body language. Story didn't stay too long ago. Boko Haram said he was relocating the military command to northeast of Nigeria, which means all the military in Nigeria and all the best of Nigeria military, they are relocating to the northeast to wipe out all the Boko Haram. Hey, Boko Haram, well done. Story. It didn't last long too. But the rest, they say, is history. 8 years after that, IGG, initial Gragra, of 2015, what Boko Haram now left Nigeria with are as follows. Boko Haram 1, Boko Haram 2, ISWAP 1, ISWAP 2, Fulani terrorist, Miyetti Allah, unknown gunmen, and then Tinubu. So when he handed over to Tinubu, as usual, they have released some images. Tinubu has commanded the military that he would no longer tolerate inter-agency disagreements. And security is priority, and they must bring down all of the terrorists and all of that. empty talk. Remember Bokwari when he would say they are bringing the people to book, the perpetrators to book. 240 people killed. I am shocked. We will bring the perpetrators to book. Last, Baba, if you say the book full of people killed by the terrorists and their expansion and their takeover agenda, that Bokwari himself stopped reading or bringing them to book because there's no real book anywhere. So Tinubu is here and he's already promising to bring in a new security architecture. You know what? Go fancy me, even though some of you will be like, but no, listen, let's be honest. What will fancy me right now is that what Bokwari did too. Remember when Bokwari northernized the Nigeria military in the last 8 years? It got to a stage whereby if they realize that you are a southerner or you are a southerner and you are likely going to be the next person to take any high-ranking military position under Bokwari, they will retire you. And they'll bring somebody else. Remember those drama those days? They say, they've announced so. Is he a northerner, a Muslim? Again? You remember those days when we're always like reacting that way? They don't appoint another northerner. Another Muslim. Another northerner. Remember? That's what I want to see now. And see the accelerated, what do you call it? Accelerated, what do they call that? Promotion or whatever. Because currently, I don't hear them already say they don't Yorubanize. That Tinubu is Yorubanizing. You get, according to how they do their thing, right? Shitty man, the vice president. Everybody will go work with shitty man. Now Tinubu go nominate them. Do you know that? Shitty man's driver, shitty man's cook, shitty man's security details, shitty man's gate man, shitty man's cameraman, shitty man's photographer. Now Tinubu go nominate all of them. Just the same way they did to Pastor Ruga. Now Bokwari nominated all of them. Even though they may make it look like they are working for the vice president. But guess what? Anyway. So today, Tinubu met with the service chiefs. And in their usual well-starched uniform, when Nigeria is burning down, they are all looking starched up, freshen up, looking good. To come and brief Kolu of what they have done so far. But before we get to that, I don't know how you are coping so far, but from the streets, so far on this subsidy removal, this seems to be the report from the street. But what should we do first? Let's go to that As Olroke Villa. Okay.
We rise for Mr. President.
Morning. Do we shake or we just we just see?
Yes, sir.
Presence.
Yeah, that guy.
I'm honored, sir. Good morning, Your Excellency.
How are you?
Fine, thank you, sir.
Yes, Your Excellency.
How are you?
Thanks, sir. Good morning, Your Excellency.
Morning. How are you?
Thanks, sir. Good morning, Your Excellency.
Morning.
Morning, Your Excellency.
Morning.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Your Excellency.
Please.
I mean, if for a moment you just take your mind off who they are and all that, yeah. Some of us who actually have watched Tinubu for a long time, I can tell you this it's like an act to watch. The way he talks, nonchalant way, and all of that stuff, the character and you know what I mean? So you see, now that he's so old, to somebody like me, yeah, every time I look at him, it just reminds me of Ojo Pagogo. How many of you know that Razaki Olaiwola, what is that his name? Ojo Pagogo. Say again, you know, Ojo Pagogo. So it's like having Ojo Pagogo as your president. So everything he does is going to be looking like comical, even though life is involved. Or should I say lives are at stake? Yeah? That's the difference between Tinubu and Ojo Pagogo. But because Nigeria seems to have become so much of a joke anyway, so to somebody like me, when I look at me, I'm just like seeing Ojo Pagogo, like Ojo Pagogo is about to meet the military. Ojo Pagogo is about to, Ojo Pagogo has, you know what I can, but it's going to be like comic. I'm not going to let you start seeing him as Ojo Pagogo anyway, so don't worry. Clean that out, like wipe that off. That's not the point. So let's go back to the real thing. So he met with them, and kind of one strange thing that I noticed is that some of the guys who worked with Bokwari, they are still on right now. Like that Gambari that worked with, sorry, not Gambari, rather. That DSS, okay, they are all force men. I think it makes sense now. They're all force men. And then that police IG too, that the court said is already overstayed his legal time in office, right? But he's still there attending the security meeting. Then Moguno, the national security advisor to Bokwari, yeah, is still there and attending security meeting. Now, I don't know, Sha. Anyway, I'll show you so that I'll come back and then speak on it. Let's kind of watch this.
We rise for Mr. President.
This is me now having to show you the full clip of the conversation that President Tinubu had with the service chiefs. So let's watch it again.
We rise for Mr. President.
Morning. Do we shake or we just we just see?
Yes, sir.
Presence. Yeah, that guy.
I'm honored, sir. Good morning, Your Excellency.
How are you?
Fine, thank you, sir.
Yes. Your Excellency.
How are you?
Thanks. Good morning, Your Excellency.
Morning. How are you?
Good morning, Your Excellency.
Morning.
Good morning, Your Excellency.
Morning.
Yes. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Your Excellency.
Please.
The President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, has just concluded a meeting of the General Security Appraisal Committee, consisting of the Chief of Defense Staff, Service Chiefs, Inspector General of Police, and heads of the intelligence agencies. This is the very first meeting he's had with the heads of the security agencies. The meeting lasted 2 hours. Having been briefed by the participants of the meeting, Mr. President addressed prevailing issues confronting the nation in terms of insecurity, and also mentioned his own philosophy towards dealing with national security issues. First and foremost, he appreciated the armed forces and intelligence agencies and the wider paramilitary agencies for the work they have been doing in the past couple of years. Their sacrifice, their loyalty, and he also paid tribute to those who died in defending this country from the great big menace of terrorism, insurgency, banditry, oil theft, sea robbery, piracy, etc., etc. The President has made it very, very clear that he's determined to build on whatever gains have been made and to reverse misfortunes and turn the tide in our favor. As far as he is concerned, this country should not be on its knees struggling while other countries are walking and achieving greater heights. The President has revealed that in moving this country forward, he needs the security agencies to redouble their efforts, and he's also pointed out that his own philosophy is one of contemporary security measures, dealing with the requirements of the time He has made it very clear that he will not accept a situation in which our fortunes keep declining. And his own trajectory is that national security has to be coordinated. There has to be, whatever it is, whether it is a basket system, but there must be a clearing house. All agencies must work to achieve one single purpose. Working at cross purposes and colliding with each other is not something that he will condone. He has made it very, very clear that all the security agencies must comply with the demands of coordination, with the demands of frequent consultations, and also timely reports which must be acted on. He's going to embark on a lot of reforms in terms of our security architecture. He's going to take a closer look at our misfortunes in the maritime domain, focusing particularly on the issues of oil theft. That he is not going to tolerate. Wherever the problem is coming from, it must be crushed as soon as possible. He's already mandated the security agencies to come up with a blueprint. As far as he knows, as far as he's concerned, he doesn't have the luxury of time, and whatever changes will be made have to be done as soon as possible. The president also has decided that whatever ventures the armed forces are going to be engaged in, they must carry along those operatives in the theater. They must be well fed, well kitted, motivated, and given all that they require. The president has said clearly that he will do whatever is within his powers to enable the operational elements, but the intelligence agency.
We will work with you to build a Nigeria that is not corrupt. I bring you a message of hope.
We are going to spend a lot of resources on education.
You know he's lying, Abi. That's the guy I told you, Moguno. His name is Moguno. Is saying exactly the same thing he said 8 years ago when Bokwari appointed him as National Security Advisor. He was saying exactly the same thing with this tone, military tone of the president said he will no longer condone. The president said he will no longer tolerate. The president said he has no much time. The president said he wants it done ASAP. The president said all agencies must work together. There must be a clearinghouse. The president, that's what the guy said for 8 years. 8 years under Bukwari. So a lot of people will be like, yes, that's what Tinubu is saying. That Tinubu didn't say all of that, though. He didn't say anything like that. No, he did not say anything. He just told him, this is what we are doing, this is what we are doing. And he was like, okay, oh yeah, go and, you, Moguno, go and tell them, go and tell the press, the meeting. Why those ones, They just went in their Prado, and they drove off. Where are they? I saw them earlier. Okay, yeah. Àwọn ni ọlọ́ni, ònìyàn olóònìyàn. Ọni ọlọ́ni, ònìyàn ọlọ́nìyàn. They have made a kill. Under Bukwari, every year, Nigeria was spending over 3 trillion naira on security. The more money Nigeria spent on security, the escalated, I mean, the more the more terrorists open different branches in Nigeria. In one of those escapades, Bukwari withdrew $1 billion. $1 billion. See. And he handed Donald Trump, remember that Tucano jet? Tucano jet that was supposed to be taking out terrorists. Bukwari packed it, and they were plotting to go and use it to level down the eastern part of Nigeria. You know that time, not that we have forgotten. Terrorists that they were buying all these weapons for, under Bukwari, they will open their vault. They will say, hey, they have invaded Kinikon Baraki. In my lifetime, in attacking barracks, invading Amori by terrorists in Nigeria became a normal thing. And they will bring the news, everything has come under control. There is no weapon lost. Until under Bukwari, they started negotiating to buy back land. There's a surface to hear rockets launcher or rockets. Surface to hear the one that can bring down fighter jetty, passenger jetty. Have you forgotten that it was under this Bukwari that supposed Fulani herdsmen, bandits, they have weapons. They have weapon that is so powerful that shot down fighter jet in Niger State. under these criminals, so because they use your money to buy them, the ones they could buy, the rest they share the money. This is like a field of, we are coming to brief them every day. You know, now they will take their picture with Bokwari. Inside Bokwari play, they will say they are briefing the president. Last, oh, anyway, they shall don't brief them. Then go discuss some, see how it could be. As for Bokwari, is back to Daura. And if Naira is worthless, dollar is not. See his daughters. You may be looking for fuel everywhere, Baba. Well, it can't be the same for everyone anyway. From Daura, ladies and gentlemen. Come back home. But for Pastor Ruga, ẹ̀yin lẹ ṣe yìí o, ayérayé Ọlọ́run ìyanu, ẹ̀yin lẹ ṣe yìí o, something like this.
Only to say how very deeply grateful I am. You know, it's after such a long time, in 8 years, a very long time. And all of you who I see here today are people who have kept up with me very steadfastly at all times. And you are here again to celebrate our return home. I must say that I am deeply it was Barbara Bush, the wife of President Bush, who said that when the noise of politics is silenced and the dust settles, all you have left are family, friends, and faith.
What's going on, Christian? What's going on, Christian?
Pastor, you know, go take rest more before you begin your what do you call it, motivational business again. Pastor Ruga, but for the rest of Nigeria, right now, this is actually the feelings, if you mind. Where is that guy?
I have the guys here. Hello, how are you?
Fine, sir.
Okay, over 500 naira. Are you willing to pay?
I can't pay it, sir. It's too cost, sir. It's too cost.
But you look like you have money.
I don't have any money, sir. Since last night I sleep here. Since yesterday evening I was here, and I can't have that sort of money, sir.
Sorry, huh?
Yes, sir.
Things are going to get better in Nigeria.
All right.
Say amen.
Amen.
Okay. Well, Rotus, he has said amen, so we are hoping that things will get better. But I tell you, nobody's willing to pay. Okay, you have 500 naira to pay for fuel.
Oh, God. Me, I be a good driver. I don't even pay 500 naira. How much I go come the carry person? Why? I don't even pay 500 naira. What I 550 when they talk, I don't even pay them. because the price is too much. I beg my president, Tinubu begin to do something about this price where they talk. I beg, and I take God beg Tinubu, make it do something. I don't dare here since day before yesterday. Now I buy fuel to drive my keke so that I can feed the carry passenger. I no fit. I no fit. To buy water for us, we can. No way to buy water. All the poor people where they sell water, 2029, they said no water, no way to buy, to take on generator, to pump the water. I never bath. Since yesterday, I never bath.
You never bath?
You know the smell. You know the smell from my body.
Wait, you the smell?
I the smell.
Then come out for ya.
I want to come on one by one.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much. Thank you. No.
That is what it is on the street. You know, they hear the smell. You know, there's this kind of broken English in Nigeria, that pidgin English in Nigeria that you go no say now this on our original. How person go hear smell? Maybe to smell. But when you are hungry, say they hear the smell. You know they see the sound. Say sound. Nobody sees sound now. They hear them. They've turned Nigerians into mad fellows. People can't really figure out why all of this are happening to them. And the criminals who are doing all of this to you continue to probably tell you to say amen.